Systemd is a system and service manager or init system used in most Linux distributions to bootstrap the user space and manage all processes subsequently. As of 2016, the vast majority of Linux distributions have adopted systemd into their default init system in one way or another. The increasing adoption of systemd has been controversial, with critics arguing the software has violated the Unix philosophy by becoming increasingly complex, and that distributions have been forced to adopt it due to the dependency of various other software upon it, including the GNOME 3 desktop environment. What does this all mean? To the average viewer, you probably didn't understand a word of that. So I will do my best to attempt to explain what systemd is and why it has been the matter of increasing concern in the Linux community. In short, systemd is an init system. In Unix-based computer operating systems, init, short for initialization, is the first process or program started during booting of the computer system. Init is a daemon process, also known as a service for Windows users, that continues running until the system is shut down. The original init system used in Unix-based computers is, creatively named, init. It has been used for around 30 years and continues to be used daily. On March 30, 2010, however, a new contender emerged. This was very unexpected in the Linux community as the original init had been working fine for the past 3 decades and did not look like it needed a replacement. This is where the conspiracy begins. Systemd comes from Red Hat. Red Hat, in the Linux world, is the company with the largest ties to the US government and the various state security organizations around the world, including the NSA. The US government is Red Hat's #1 customer. Red Hat also appears to be Leonard Poeting's employer. The Linux kernel, in its current state, is free from backdoors. It has been audited numerous times, and as long as Linus Torvalds lives, you're not going to subvert the kernel. If you can't get into the kernel, what is your next option? You need something low-level, ubiquitous, and vast in scope and complexity. This describes systemd perfectly. It was almost like it was designed to touch as much of a Linux system as possible. It has hooks into so many different subsystems and APIs that is almost impossible to build a modern distro with current software without pulling in systemd as a dependency. This happened almost overnight, and there are almost certainly malicious forces at work here. We must remember Heartbleed. Heartbleed appeared to be an innocent mistake, and it was a tiny typo in one line of a C program. If it's possible to do that much damage with a tiny little error, imagine when you have an attack surface as wide as systemd, written in a language like C that is almost designed to produce security holes when not written absolutely perfect, and humans are not perfect programmers. Systemd is dangerous. It's too big to be audited as quickly as it is developed. Its complexity adds as much attack surface to a Linux system as the kernel itself. Another weird coincidence is that systemd is the only open source project that the mere mention of attracts a shitload of shills ready to defend it and insult and berate anyone who even slightly criticizes it. Not just on 4chan, but on any forum or comment section. As soon as systemd is mentioned, the thread devolves into name-calling and calls to behead anyone who insults systemd. This, combined with the extreme swiftness in systemd's rise in popularity, makes for the perfect conspiracy theory. It's almost like somebody with a lot of power, money, and influence, has decided to bend all their efforts toward getting the software as widely used as humanly possible. The first distribution to adopt systemd was Fedora, which is pretty much owned by Red Hat, in November 2010. Then came OpenSUSE and Gentoo Linux in 2011, and Arch and Debian in 2012. These were the Goliaths of the Linux world, adopting an init system that hadn't really been necessary yet. Nowadays, it is nearly impossible to create a modern, functioning distro with up-to-date drivers and software without systemd due to the sheer number of dependencies on it. It is estimated that nearly 25% of all Linux packages have systemd as a dependency, even for things as small as calling a function that could have easily been done in the original init.d. A final wrap up before the video ends. Systemd came into the Linux world in March 30th. It has everything needed for the perfect backdoor into a system. Since then it was adopted by numerous packages, programs, daemons and environments, causing it to be nearly impossible to make a distro without it, which has led to the Linux distros that hold the vast majority of market share, over 75% in this case, to adopt it. Most have it hardwired into the system, so unless you are willing to opt for an older, out-of-date version of the distribution, there is no way possible to use the operating system without systemd. Such has happened with Ubuntu, which, since 2015's release 15.04, has made systemd obligatory for anyone using the distro. A final warning, please be careful using distributions with systemd. You never know what might be lurking, watching you fap to lowly hentais on /b/. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos. We are not dead, we have just been lurking a lot. We hope to see you soon once again.